Yo, let's see who pours in. Let me do a update on the VIP. Yo, what's up, man? Let me update everybody that I'm in here, and we're gonna start streaming. Updated the MC Discord and the NickCipher Discord. Yo, what's up, Jake? Thank you so much, man. The VWAP is like my passion, dude. It's my strategy that I slayed the ETH bull run with, man. Yeah, I'm so glad to be teaching it, and I'm so glad that enough traders have told me that it's brought them success, enough for me to feel that I'm really doing a good job and that it's a good strategy. Obviously, always room for improvement in trading, you know? What's up, Jacob Samuels? Let me just post that I'm streaming real quick. Good to see you too, man. What's up, you flopping gropers? What music should I play on the Instagram story post? Probably some Crown Chakra stuff. Let's do that FOMO song. The FOMO song. I love that one. What's up, Lol Volvo? Much love, guys. Thanks for pouring in. What's up, James? Good to see you in, man. Getting jacked and slaying the charts. Long to ETH all night, long again today, cup and handle. Let me check ETH, bro. How we doing? Okay, so ETH BTC came up over some volume weighted anchors. Interesting. There's a big gap to be filled on the ETH BTC trend here. ETH went crazy, bro. Yeah, dude. I love ETH, bro. ETH is what ETH made me as a trader. Now I feel like Chainlink is kind of like what ETH was to me back in 2020. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but Chainlink definitely feels like that for me now. But I still love ETH. Okay. I posted in the NickCipher Discord, and I posted on the MC Discord and on Instagram. And I'm not on Twitter, but I need to get on Twitter, like, for you guys. Get my shit together. So I was like looking up like what like FloppingGroper, and I found that like these two words are complementary. Like they both mean to like flounder or to mess up, you know? Like if you flop, that's like a crash or a toss or a tumble or a stumble or a plunge, you know? It's like it's failure. And then to grope, even though that's like it sounds like a gross term, it has a lot of meanings to it. It's not just like, you know, touching inappropriately, but it's also like searching for, looking for, finagling. It also means to fumble around, to feel, to try to grab. You're trying to grab onto something. You're trying to understand what's happening. And so this name that was chosen for me as a trader early on in my trading career has so much meaning behind it, because to be a flopping groper is to be a fool, right? It's to accept that when we enter anything new that we don't understand, we got to accept that role as a fool. And yeah, I wasn't meaning to be inappropriate there, James, but my name is kind of like FG is kind of an inappropriate, weird name. Like, you know, in my trading career, when people ask what I do and I tell them I'm the flopping groper, like imagine what I had to go through in my trading career, you know, trying to explain the word groper and why everyone calls me that. And it's not a bad thing. Yeah, it took me like 6 years to evolve from a groper to a NickCipher. What's up, Gazgano? The Fibonacci. What's up, Maine? The Operator. What's up, Rome's 1 hour trigger wave? VWAP's crossing. We'll get to the Bitcoin analysis. We'll get to it. Yup, we got the treadmill and the standing desk, and I got a green screen right here. You know, this is I love this. I feel like the weatherman. Like, I'm feeling the charts. The charts are like nice and velvety and smooth. It's great, man. I do my push-ups in front of the green screen now too for my challenge. So like I'm dialing in. Like the push-up challenge content is like getting. It's following a form now where I'm like doing the price of Bitcoin divided by 1,000 push-ups in front of the charts. So now I'm like showing MC, I'm showing that I'm in the matrix, I'm showing the treadmill, I'm showing a lot with I'm hitting a lot of birds with one stone by keeping up with that. And yeah, Brain Cake, like this is definitely like my own kind of setup. Like I don't have the best camera. You know, I'm not looking right at the camera like directly either. It's like a side view here. But now I'm observing the charts with you guys. Like you know, like if I look over here at the green screen, it's like I'm looking at my chart, you know. And my back is pretty big too. Like I've been working out, you know, like I am pretty like meaty and swole. So like I like this side profile here, you know. But yeah, like I've been learning how to better manage my time for MC. I know that I've been putting out a lot of content, but it's kind of like random. And I get that it's like not respectful of people's time, because you want to be able to go to like my page or see some content of mine and you kind of know what you are expecting, but you never know what's gonna come out of my head from day to day. It might be something funny. It might be something to do with NickCipher's waves or just something random, you know. And this is why it was imperative that I started live streaming. That way I can get my flow state out there. And when it comes to the short form content and stuff, I'm still gonna have lessons and still gonna be putting stuff out there. But I like the push-up challenge because it helps me like stick to a simple form, and I can focus my energy on what really matters, which is being live with you guys more, you know? Like, I've built up a work ethic and a discipline that you guys can't deny. I've been here every day for the last 2 months, right? Not I just started going live, but we're out here in these streets, you know? Yes, Nathan, this is going to be a regular thing. You know, for now, it's probably going to be like 3 days a week. But I want to eventually get to a point where I'm providing enough value to you guys where I can come on here at least 5 days a week. But I got to build up to that point. I got to, you know, a lot of other crypto YouTubers, their streams are more like calorically dense. Like, they'll go to like corn market cap, and like, you know, they have the on-chain data, and like, it's not just charts. The charts are just one part of the content that they offer. So I'm gonna learn how to like be more efficient with, you know, it's a lot to ask you guys to spend like 2 hours with me a day, you know, and I respect that. I'm gonna keep. I love the feedback. Like, I need pressure. I need to be pushed. I need to be beaten into form. You know, I don't want to just be told that I'm just doing a good job. I hate comfort. I want the hate, and not the hate, but I like the criticism. I love the feedback. What's up, Raz? He says, yo, FG, appreciate all your content, bro. Trading and otherwise, always a measured, reasonable perspective. Not all the time, bro. I've been quite emotional lately because, like, I love Bitcoin. And, you know, I look at things like this pi cycle chart, and I start, like, frothing at the mouth, you know? Because, like, the last time we were at a point like this was back when we were at, like, maybe like 15 to 20K back in 2020. What's up, Dubai Money? What's up, Nathan? Nathan says, nice, bro. Got a link with you in Discord as well. MC is bossing it. Would love to get some insight into your way of thinking. I'll go over my strategy in this stream. I'll go over it from the ground up. Dubai Money says, what's up, man? What's up, bro? What's up, bro? I'm really happy to be here representing MC. I know it's just a software company. It's just an indicator, but to me, it's not just an indicator. Like, I can feel in my heart all the people. I can feel all the money. Money is light, and money is energy, and all the money that you guys have traded using our tool. You know, thinking about not only the people who succeeded with our tool, but also all the people who came and went, and the people who failed and have struggled. At a certain point, all the hard work I was doing last year, like in the gym and in hiking, like almost every day, I like acquired appreciation for like how much work you guys have put in using our tool. Hours and hours and hours. And eventually I started seeing like the order books as more than just numbers. It's like behind every order book is a person with hopes and dreams, you know? And when shit got real for me, that's when like I was able to open myself up and gain that appreciation and that love for mine and my brother's company. Something that I had to discover or like rediscover, you know. And I'm happy to share like that fact. I know, you know, a lot of people would just come back and hide that fact that, you know, maybe they weren't appreciative before. But we've always been more than a software company. Like, we're real people helping real people. You guys are seeing, you get to see me, FloppingGroper, become a man. You know what I'm saying? Dubai Money says, y'all don't run it like a software company. That's why y'all are killing it. For sure, man. There's so many indicators out there. But who puts their face in front of it? Who loves their shit and their people like we do? Nobody, man. And that's because of the memories that we've created. And like my contributions to like crypto culture, it goes deeper than trading. It's like I feel interwoven with the history of crypto. I see myself, you know, it's like I had to rescue myself and then I'm coming back to do the good work for MC. But when I'm on top of this mountain and all my wisdom is laid out and I've achieved market nirvana for myself like CF did, and like I'm getting the real world feedback and the spiritual reward from all the hard work and shit, when I'm on top of that mountain, you guys realize that I can then impact the world, you know? Like I have that mentality. I as someone who hit a rock bottom in life and has also been through disaster experiences and shit, I have like a determination to keep going, you know? I know that's such a cheesy phrase, like, keep going, bro, you know? But what happens when someone actually listens to that advice? You know, you don't actually expect people to really take that advice. You're like, oh shit, he really did keep going, man. Oh man, I didn't want him to do that. Oh man, oh wow, he's the hero who saved the entire world. He was the hero all along. Oh my god. But you can't get too ahead of yourself, you see. Like, you can't, ain't no one saving the world before they save their own people, and ain't no one doing that until they save themselves, and ain't no one coming to save us. I was just talking to CF today, like, lifeboats are for women and children. This is like intuitively why we've subscribed to this, like, you know, idea of staying hard, you know, like David Goggins, and like, life's only going to get harder. The reward is only going to get halved. The eggs are going to get twice as expensive. Bitcoin's going to get twice as expensive. It's going to take twice as much energy to mine Bitcoin. Like, there's so many ley lines converging that are saying, like, life is going to get 2 times harder. And so if a flopping groper, like, basically like a pencil neck dweeb who never worked out in high school and like struggled with, you know, his masculinity for like for years, even though I was successful, it's like I'm still learning how to become a man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm actually fighting, I'm gonna train with Mike Perry on March 1st, and I got some gloves here, and I definitely am not that great of a fighter, but you guys know I got gigantic balls for going to Orlando and potentially, I don't know if I'm going to be able to throw a punch at Mike Perry, but I want to, like, I kind of want to take some punches from Mike Perry and throw some punches at Mike Perry. But if that doesn't happen, that's fine. Like, I'll just train with Mike Perry. I saw like Strickland and Sneeko had a little thing. Like, did you guys see that video of Sean Strickland like beating the crap out of Sneeko? And like, he's like, I hate influencers, but like, it was fun beating up Sneeko. Like, I kind of want to have that moment. Like, it's going to be Mike Perry and FloppingGroper, and however much money I need to spend to make Mike Perry feel appreciative, because he's a champion. Like, his time is valuable. You know, a lot of what he does is like, for us, it's the fact that he's just a good man who like loves that we believed in him at his low as a company. We believed in him before he became the king of violence, you know? So he's done a lot for us. But as he's grown and gotten more legit, like, his time is worth more. And like, I just want to make sure that he's taken care of. But I also know that like me going out to train with him is something that you guys want to see. It's like some real life shit. It's like an indicator of like NickCipher doing better in the future, because it's like, damn, these guys are willing to go out into the world. They're not just like bedroom traders anymore. They're actually like dudes going out there doing it, you know? And there's certainly lessons to be learned from fighting that apply to trading. Like, in a fight, there's only one winner. And just like how in trading, you could have 99 trades and then lose the 100th one and lose everything. Isn't it like that with fighting too? You could have 100 fights, you could win 99 fights in a row, and then that 100th fight, you die or you lose, or you never know. It's risky, it's dangerous. It's one of the toughest businesses out there, just like trading. It's the perfect blend. It's the perfect lesson to apply to trading. That like when you enter a trade, you're in the ring, you know, and it's all about like, what is your mentality in trading? Mentality is huge in trading, just like how mentality is huge in fighting. The best, there's different winning mentalities too. You know, everyone's mentality is different. Mike Perry almost has like a Trump-like mentality. Like a traditional masculine savage kind of mentality. Where he seems undefeatable, like a freight train just moving forward, you know? And that got me thinking, like, it's like it's a joke, but like Joe Biden's mentality of rigging the system in his favor and like winning from his bedroom, that's actually a kind of a crazy mentality too. Because it shows your ultimate power to rig things in your favor and then win and get results with minimal effort. That's actually like more hardcore than the Trump mentality of like putting all that energy and like all the expectations and everyone's expecting you to win because like you're the guy who's supposed to win. That's a lot of pressure, you know? When you finally lose, that sucks. Whereas the manipulator, the rigger, you know, that's kind of what a trader is. As a trader, we're in our bedrooms with no shirt on, and we're rigging the system in our favor. You know, every time you put a stop loss, you're saying that, you know, if this goes against me, I'm out, but if it goes for me, I win. So it's like Biden won by employing expert risk management, you know. Just an interesting thing to think about, you know. How you guys doing in the chats? How's the music volume? How many people we got in here? James Roy says, it definitely takes a warrior mentality to trade. They're gonna fight. It's gonna be a fight. He's a fighter. Yeah, man. I'm glad you guys see that thread too. I'm glad that as a community, we're able to tie the threads and make those connections into trading, because trading has so much crossover with like everything. Trading is kind of like the human experience. Causes you to grow so much becoming a trader. I just hate that word trader. It sounds like traitor. I'm not a traitor to my people or my country. I love my people. I love my country. I simply exchange assets. I'm an exchanger, or I don't want to call myself a swapper. That sounds messed up. Or a swinger. And I'm not I don't like the scalping and swinging either. I'm not like taking people's heads off with a tomahawk. I'm not sharing my wife with other men. These terms in trading are like hella weird. That's why FloppingGroper doesn't sound so weird. I kind of, my name fits right in with all the other shit going on in this space, not gonna lie. But yeah. Let's see. Check the Bitcoin price. So Bitcoin, obviously, so I put an anchor down here at this old low. We also got an anchor at the ETF, and also on the first of the year, and also at our low that we had in January. And there's certainly a lot of room to come down. I see like on the daily, it looks like we could be slipping below the 60 line. And so I would say that as long as the blue wave is under the 60 line, it is for certain possible that we come down to like the next level of strong support, which would be like the middle of this like this range that we were in. And just to demonstrate that, let me pull open like that volume profile that a lot of you guys love, and like we'll just put this there. Yeah, and you'll see that like this represents like a, I forget what Jason Casper calls it, but like a value area, whatever. Like, it's just a really important. There was a lot of volume at this level here, and so, you know, if things got gnarly, you know, I would look for us to find some support on the anchors. If things got even more hairy, I don't see us going any lower than 43, like ever again. I'm macro bullish on Bitcoin. Like the underpinnings of crypto are bullish because the US only prints more money to make the stonks go up. And so it's just like only a matter of time before the dollar is debased. You have so many indicators telling us that the crypto markets should start popping off. For instance, this pi cycle top, the fact that we're just like, you know, just following form like we did every other time. Like we're in this, we've entered like a run phase, you know? And then also the presentation I had the last stream about the Titanic market psychology of Bitcoin. You know, every time we approach an old iceberg event level, that is not, I mean, we do tend to dump from that point slightly, but ultimately it represents rescue. It doesn't represent, it never ever has represented a macro top in the crypto markets that we come back and reclaim an old iceberg level. It's always been the signal that we've been rescued by Harold Lowe, the boatman at the end of the Titanic, that the true heroes revealed, and now like basically the concern of the iceberg event is gone. The sinking has ended, and it's time for the movie to come full circle again. And we now are back at the beginning where we're saying no one can sink this ship, and like it's a party above deck all over again. But you see, that window is a very short window until we hit the next iceberg. And I think the reason why is because the sinking is like a time dilation. Because the sinking is the most important part of the Titanic movie, it feels like the longest moment because it's so important. It's what the entire movie's about. It's the most traumatizing event. And so even though like that scene where all these people are dying one after another happens like super quick, if you were to represent that movie as price in this Bitcoin bull bear cycle, the sinking is like 80% of what happens in Bitcoin. And I think that's why most people get chewed up and spit out by Bitcoin. It's because they're entering the story at the sinking during a time dilation where a very quick scene of like from iceberg to rescue ends up being about like 80% of like the value and the memories you get from the movie. You're not really thinking about Jack and Rose on the bow making out, or like making love in the car, or like Jack having dinner with the rich people. All that shit is just like the pre-shit of the real story, which is like, this shit's gonna sink. You know what I'm saying? But the point is like when we get to that iceberg level, psychologically, that is rescue. And it makes sense that at that point, like Rose is the only survivor in the water, right? Like there is no other market participants. Everybody has exited the market and taken profits. And the profit to exit the story at this point and then to jump back in, there's a high likelihood that you just are a flopping groper who's dead in the water. You'll just be bobbing in the water dead if you enter the market now. You would have to have been Rose, who's, you know, or the boatman, like a man of conscience who's proven. There's basically only 3 people who survive the actual sinking, right? It's women, children, and proven men of conscience. That's who gets to survive when humanity goes to shit in general. That's who lives, is women, children, and men who can row. You know what I'm saying? And then also people who are outside the story, like the old lady, the granny at the end of the story, who's just like, so she's a market observer. She's like, she actually is like living the Titanic suffering over and over again. The granny in the Titanic, like old Rose, represents someone maybe in like 2027 when Bitcoin is a lot higher, who's like dumping their bags and like went through multiple Titanic sinkings and it like finally achieved like market nirvana. So yeah, that's like my Titanic metaphor. And this is why so many, you'll notice a lot of Titanic metaphors in crypto, but nobody explains this actual connection between Bitcoin and the Titanic like I do. And I'm gonna get better at sharing this message. I might be able to market it like to the world in like a way that makes sense. I did organize it in a way that kind of makes sense with this graph here. You know, like you have the psychological top and you have the counter move, the major correction. But then you get the second win. It's like the bulls still think there's a chance, but there's not, you know? And then you get multiple corrections, and that is the problem of the Titanic ship getting worse and worse. It's the panic setting in, the captain going down with the ship, the false heroes like her husband who's like pulls out his gun and starts trying to shoot people, you know, like everything's getting worse. And the violins start playing. But then from that point, the violins are like inspiring the best part of humanity. It's such a beautiful scene, those violins. Because it's from that point that humanity decides like, yo, we're not all gonna die here. Like, yes, most of these people are gonna die, but humanity lives on. You know what I'm saying? And so just like how there was a counter move up here, there's a counter move down here. Like we were going down, but now we get the first pump. The women and children are being loaded onto lifeboats. And we hit like that psychological bottom where hope begins to manifest in a market. You know what I'm saying? But then like you do have your doubts along the way. There's guns drawn, there's lifeboats like being deployed wrong and all the people spill out into the water, and that's fucked up. The guy gets hit by a propeller, you know? But after that, those initial worries are settled, the rescue mission basically begins to unfold slowly. You get the second pump, the third pump. Eventually you get to that final rescue phase. It's that quiet rescue mission where there's only a few boats left who are asking, is anyone alive out there? And you feel like you're all alone, you know, and it basically takes faith that there might be someone alive out there to even like see movement. And yet at this moment in the price, we're right on the cusp of rescue. Like humanity is basically on the cusp of salvation. And yet, where is everybody? The answer is they've exited the market. They're bobbing in the water dead, and they're asleep. And they're not waking up until the movie restarts, and the rescue phase is over, and it's a party above deck again. Because that's all most people want to do. Nobody wants to be the good man below deck. No one wants to be the firefighter or the engineer like below deck who is the first to die with the ship when shit goes wrong. People don't want to be the man of duty whose job is to like save people during the sinking, and you don't get to enjoy yourself during the good times. But I've accepted my role as like that man of service for you guys and for the crypto community, because intuitively I know that you know, by being that, I'm one of the people who survives this story, you know? I'm surviving the Titanic sinking. I don't know about you guys, but I ain't going anywhere. So when it comes to Bitcoin dominance, it looks like on the 2-week, the yellow oscillator just crossed up and money flow is coming up. It looks like we need to come up at least fill up this point here. I think Bitcoin dominance might pick up. And a lot of people hate on Bitcoin. They say like there's not a lot of gains in Bitcoin, but Bitcoin has a lot of gains that it could make. And not only that, I have this idea that, you know, this bull cycle is all about fake content, AI generated shit, fake influencers. Like on Instagram, there's kids who know nothing about crypto and would not be able to explain market psychology like how I do, and yet they're telling people like to macro short right now, and like they're kind of like acting like how I was when I was a new FloppingGroper, like, you know, commanding people when really they don't even know how to row, and yet these influencers on social media have more following than any of us who've been here through multiple sinkings. There's like a fake web of it's almost like a psyop. You know, I mean, I don't know what the hell it is, but it's just how social media works these days. But we're really in our own bubble, and like this knowledge that I'm preaching is not common knowledge. Most people don't know about market psychology like this, and I get that I sound like everyone else now. You know what I'm saying? Like I sound by being like macro bullish, I now blend in with everyone else, and you can't tell that I'm real anymore. You know, it's like based on faith, and then what you saw of me before in previous cycles that, you know, that gives me a little credence, but you know, new people who come in don't know who the hell I am. So it's going to be hard for me to elevate this voice and be a bull when everyone else is, you know. That's just the psychology of it. But it's interesting that we've entered a time where it's brave to be a bull. We like that. We like that. James Roy says, how much you rowing? I'm carrying the boats, bro. I'm not just rowing. I'm carrying the boats. This is another tie-in from David Goggins. It's like, the way David Goggins thinks is that we are in a Titanic ship, and every decision counts. And like he's someone who's constantly, like, eternally earning his place in his own life. And he believes instinctually that hard work has meaning behind it, because he has faith in like a future point that he can't see, and he knows that by training for that point, like he will get there, and like it will pay off in the end. Proof of work. It's actually changed my opinion on Bitcoin. Like, there were points in my life where I thought maybe the energy cost of Bitcoin wasn't good, and I was like more of a proof of stake guy. But proof of work is amazing. Like, after watching David Goggins and like seeing what hard work does to people's perceptions of you, by dumping work and dumping energy into things, that affects our perception of shit in our mind. Like, the human mind respects that, and that does add value. And David Goggins also preaches that shit's going to get twice as hard. That coincides with the Bitcoin halvening, Bitcoin getting harder to mine, and Bitcoin requiring 2 times input, working twice as hard in the hopes of maybe getting a 2 times input. But, you know, maybe there's a point in the future where we get a halvening, and that's simply just to maintain. Like, what happens when we get to a point where we have to work twice as hard just to keep what we have? That would require market like appreciation for Bitcoin that we may not have at that time. So that's an interesting thing to think about too, is like, in our lives, do we have the capacity to work twice as hard for what we already have? It's hard for us to do that. That is why the halvening psychologically works at raising the price. Because if you can half the reward, it sounds counterintuitive, but have you ever been like overpaid for a job and you got lazy, and then like when your employer cut your pay, you got to work? It's like a whip in the ass. And I am no expert on on-chain analytics. I just talk about things kind of in a poetic sense. Like, I'm just an everyday guy who can use metaphors. Let's see here. So yeah, that was like the biggest tangent. I was going on a Bitcoin analysis and then went off you guys got to rein me in a little bit. But, you know, I can't pretend that I know what's going to happen. So be careful of people who say they know what's going to happen. I have a 15-foot flashlight in front of me, but I'm going to play it safe for the sake of NickCipher, and I'm not making big calls, especially a downward call, and when these anchors are like ascending, and we have so many macro factors in Bitcoin's favor. It's all right. I'll skip out on like a short, I know, for the next couple months, like a big short or something. Like, you know, like personally, like I won't profit off the short, just because it seems like there's a lot of cards stacked against it, even though like it may happen, you know. I just would personally, in my mind, rather deal with that and then we come back up in a couple months than like missing the rescue phase, the silent rescue phase that I feel like we're in. And hopefully my ID comes. It actually is almost done printing. It's about to ship, so I'll be able to trade on Bybit and be able to flex my strategy on trading the asset that I love. As for like the medium term, I put an anchor on this recent high here, and we're certainly like, it looks like we are contending with it. It does want to come up, but we're not over it yet. We're not out of the woods. Definitely, like if you're feeling like concern for Bitcoin, like that it might go down, these anchors and like the intraday VWAP would suggest that we are not out of the woods yet. That we have to firmly overcome this freshly generated bearish volume weighted average price sentiment before we can continue to the upside, right? So yeah, you guys are right to be concerned. That being said, I'm just kind of like in a more bullish bias with the ascending anchors down here, and it would be nice if shit got cheaper. If shit got cheaper, my push-up challenge would get easier, my life gets easier, and Bitcoin gets cheaper if this goes down. That's a good thing. So I mean, I hope I hope the pencil necks are right, you know. Mike Rowan, bump that speed to 1.8. What do you mean oh, the treadmill? How do you know I wasn't on 1.8, bro? I was on 1.6. Damn, bro, you're astute. You're right, man. I'm like walking around like I got poop in my pants. The only problem is like I stomp. So if I'm stomping and you guys can hear me stomping, please let me know. I got flat feet, and I'm like 215 pounds at only like 5'10". So I'm pretty meaty, and like I walk around like a T-Rex. I got small hands. Like I'm like a T-Rex typing on my keyboard with big legs, and I just stomp around everywhere. Definitely like I'm a weird looking person for sure. All right, look at 8 hour. You want me to look at the 8 hour? Ooh. Ooh. That's a little trigger wave right there, bro. Yeah, man. You know, usually trigger waves are like trigger waves like are usually you know, it's tough to trust a little trigger wave because sometimes it does come down. But look, we had a trigger wave back here that played out really good. So you know, it is possible that that repeats. We got the yellow oscillator crossing up. The RSIs are still pretty high up there, although they are splitting up. I mean, it does look divergent, guys. Like the momentum came down, the money flows in a downtrend. But I would love for this to come back up to the top of the range and overcome like it's this downward anchor here. This downward anchor represents like the bear sentiment that has manifested recently. And if, you know, if it looks like we could be coming down and confirming it as some strong support, but maybe let this anchor here like be your litmus test. Like if you were bullish on that trigger wave, like keep your stop loss like below this level, you know, or at this level, so that you're not like, if you're wrong, like you don't get wrecked, you know. And it is more likely that we play it out and we go sideways, and like even if we were to come to the top here again, I wouldn't necessarily assume a breakout. You want to see how the price reacts to that level. Mike Rowan says Casper got me on the treadmill. Increase incline to reduce stomp. Dude, I've been hiking a lot. So I'm used to incline. I don't think this treadmill has incline though. It's got like 2 buttons on it. It's like a simple I got like the cheapest one on Amazon. So that's where I'm at on like the smaller time frames. Is like we've come up pretty good. I want to see us overtake this anchored bear sentiment before I like am more firmly bullish, you know, on the short term. Like there's actually some causes for some real concern if we keep trending under the intraday VWAP and the anchor there. You know what I'm saying? So definitely if you got some hair on your nuts, you could make a call, but we're kind of like at that level right now. You want to see how price reacts around this critical level here. So I'm going to stick to the bigger time frames for now. And I'm also here to like answer your guys' MC questions. If you guys have MC related questions, you got your boy Groper now. You got there's a man here now whose job is to, and whose passion is to be a man for others, the lifeboat man. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys are blowing the whistle and you want some free wisdom, all you gotta do is blow the whistle. I know you may not have a voice because you're stuck in the stream. You're like Rose, you're like but if you can just muster up the courage to blow into the whistle, then I'll do what I can. Can you talk about your approach to backtesting with MC? Confirmation bias can be brutal. You know, when I backtest with MC, what I've seen, most of the backtesting I do with MC is in regards to like the simple green and red dots on the blue wave. I was just going over this last night actually with myself. So the blue waves, what I've seen is the red and green dots are like a lagging indication. And my brothers made the mistake of painting a lagging indication as a bad thing and a leading indication as a good thing. But they're simply like two different kinds of indicators. It's like a moving average and an EMA. You know, it's just like two things that you could use for a strategy, a leading and a lagging indication. But so it's not a bad thing. But I think my brother has brilliantly used the fact that a new trader thinks that lagging equals bad to call NickCipher overall leading, because it does have leading indicators in it as well, such as the money flow. But I think that was kind of like brilliant marketing, you know, to say like, we ain't lagging, we leading, you know. But when it comes to these blue waves, especially the dots, when you get a red dot, that is because what the candle that printed showed the momentum crossing down. If you get a green dot, it showed that the candle that just printed was a bullish candle. You know, you see what I'm saying? And so when it comes to entering off of these dots, like let's say you get a dot printed and it's confirmed, you don't simply want to like mark it in right at that point. You would actually want to try and set an order like lower than that point, and you want the market to come down, and you want to get a fair price after you get that green dot. And also you wouldn't want to trust a green dot unless you have a good trend bias. Like if you're in a strong uptrend, then it would make sense that every green dot plays out eventually. So for instance, we'll go to the hourly. Let me actually demonstrate what I'm talking about. So like if you were to backtest, like just blindly following these dots, I'll pick a couple here. Let's say since we're trending over the VWAP here, we're going to be looking at green dots, even green dots over the zero line, like any green dot, because this is an overall uptrend. So if you were to put lines at these little green dots here, getting it at any one of these overall would have made you money. But it's like you often get stopped out because you see like how you get the green dot, but then you get a red candle after. You get a green dot here, but then you get red candles. Green dot, red candle. Let me look at standard candles here. Let me look at the actual price data instead of the Heiken Ashi, just for a little more clarity here, because this is actually how the orders would be filling on the exchange. Because Heiken Ashi takes the midpoint of the previous candle. It starts at the midpoint of the previous candle. So it's like manipulating how the trend looks to keep you in the direction of the dominant trend. It's a momentum trading tool. But yeah, you can see, like, if you do get a green dot, you don't simply want to long the close right away. It would be nice to get a price like at the open, you know? For instance, like this candle, let's see, this candle right here closes, and it would be nice if you could get along at that wick, you know? So you set a limit order like at that wick, and then it does pick up and then go up. You see that? So if you're on like a medium time frame, like the 1 hour, and you see a green dot and like you have a strong trend bias, even if it's like far above the zero line, it could still play out, but be mindful to like try to get a good order. That way, like the distance between your entry and your potential stop, perhaps below this candle down here, is a little better for you, and you don't have as much drawdown, you know? I think what we've accepted as a community is that these dots have a little bit of drawdown, right? So when you do get a dot, you want to account for that. For instance, this candle, we got a green dot and we close high up here. If you were to just long right there, you would have had to deal with a little bit of drawdown from that wick, you know? But if you expect a little bit of drawdown after the dot, then you can get a better price. And you notice that I'm filtering out red dots because we're talking about a trending market here, right? You wouldn't want to short in a trending market because it's only a matter of time before you go underwater. There's different styles of trading. There's range trading where you can go short and long. But I'm of the belief that when a trend is established, the trend is your friend until the end. I will die on that last sword because I already won. I've been eating the whole time, so I don't mind dying on the last. I'm not afraid to let the market kick me out because my risk is under control. I'm not frothing at the mouth about catching every opportunity that the pencil necks are screaming about. You know, you stay confident in the trend, and then when the trend is over, you're right, you know. Right here, look at this. We had a green dot. We close all the way up here. What happens if you just FOMO'd in right at the top? Oh, it's a green dot. Oh. But if you waited for some drawdown, if you waited for a retest of the intraday VWAP, then you ride that continuation up. So that's the lesson that I learned back testing MC, a lot of these green and red dots. I like to employ MC on trending markets. That way I'm only looking at half the indications. It's easy to look at MC and back test every green and red dot, you know, randomly, short here, long here, short here, long here. That's a foolish way to look at trading. You know what I'm saying? Like, your trend bias is the first step of your edge. Is what trend does your edge work in? You know, that is part of your edge, is the condition itself. Like, if you're a scuba diver and you're in the Yuma Dunes swimming in sand, like, you're not in the right environment, you know? You gotta be in the water. If you're a football player, you don't go to a D-backs game, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta play on your field. Play in your environment. Unless you're an invasive species, like a rare, like, species of eel or some shit that's like invaded some river and you're just dominating. But that's not how this shit works. Like, most of the time, if a creature wanders outside of its natural environment, it just dies. You know, it's very rare that like some sailor picks up this eel invasive species and drops it off somewhere in some river and it actually like takes over the river and eats everything else. Like, that's pretty rare. So yeah, stick to your environment. I hope, Raz, that answered your question about MC being brutal. If MC is feeling brutal to you, you may not have a strong enough trend bias, or you may be trading during times where like a a momentum strategy just simply isn't working for you, it can be brutal, for sure. You know, not every trade goes right. Not all these green dots play out. Like, look at this green dot right here. That obviously went to shit, you know? I feel good about that answer. Gankman says, yes, explain the RSI, for example. What should they look like to be bullish? Explain the colors being spread and tight, etc. Okay, let's go over that. Let's go over that. We'll go to the weekly. Let's go on a big time frame and do this. Let's go to the BLX chart. So I want to talk about this from a macro standpoint. First of all, when the RSIs first come up to over like the 90 level, like approaching the 100 level, you see how we have these big troughs? Let me like move my microphone here. There we go. You have these big troughs of RSI. We're looking at the purple line and the red and green line here. When both these lines are at like over 90 and they get to this point here, like this point in the markets, there's typically like a big correction, but that is like a signal that the market strength has like clicked on, like hero engine activated. The hero has awakened, and yes, he may be like defeated by the villain in like the first chapter of the story, but like the hero is going to figure this shit out and he's going to save the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, the hero has his vision. So like, anyways, the RSI coming over high like this, it doesn't happen often. It happened again. It didn't go that high here. It happened again here. You see this, how the RSIs came up basically to that, like this dotted line, like the 100 line here. And look, that was the same point in the market. It was like right before the rescue phase. Right before the rescue phase. Right before the point where we reach the old all-time high, the old iceberg event. The RSIs pick up and you see the market strength clicking on. And here we are again. At this point, so it's a little different this time, but the RSIs did hit 100 all the way back. It's almost like they hit it early. But the Stokes didn't catch up. Usually we want them to be converged. So, you know, perhaps you could say that this was the moment right here that would be our signal that we're approaching the iceberg line. And so you see these 3 points in the markets, here, here, and here, that represent points where on a macro scale, on a weekly time scale in Bitcoin's history, we are gaining market strength. It also happened again back here. The RSIs tighten up and we hit 100. And that's right here at the old iceberg level. So I think that we're at a really good point in the markets where market strength has manifested. When it comes to RSIs, that's a really good takeaway from the RSI. But typically with an RSI, for a buy signal, like if you're looking for like, what sign with the RSIs do I look for if I just want confluence on a long or a short, right? And that would be the RSIs collectively coming over the 10 level, like the 8 to 12 level. It's a little subjective. You could back test however you want, but like over 10 for a long on RSIs, you want to see it actually crossing 10. You don't just want to like buy oversold because then you could be catching a knife, right? You want to trade strength. You're not actually like buying the dip. You're buying market strength after the dip. So the confluence for RSI is when we cross over 10. And then for a short, it would be when we cross below 90. When you see extreme market strength over 90 suddenly pulling back, that's a sign of market weakness. That's the strength losing or leaving the market. So coming below 90 for bearish confluence, coming over 10 for bullish confluence. And that, you know, you could subjectively adjust those lines in your mind. You could do 88 12, you could do 892. Like, I don't, do whatever you want to do. I don't use lines to delineate those. I just have an idea of it in my head. But obviously, if you look in the back here, like when these RSIs come over 10, that's a bottom in the market on this macro chart here. As for the gap, and as for the color changing of the red and green, the color changing is not a buy-sell indication. It's simply telling you whether the RSI, which is the purple line, is bullishly or bearishly diverging from the Stokes. I like to think of the RSI as the more slower moving, more sure indicator. And so when the purple line is over the Stokes, you see that the Stokes turn green. And so the Stokes turning green has more to do with the RSI than the Stokes. If the Stokes are green, the purple line is overhead. And perhaps that means a more sure move, but I don't take that into account. I just see it as a divergence. There needs to be a reckoning. These two lines are going to converge again at one point, and that's going to cause something to happen in the price. Either the RSI meets the Stokes, or the Stokes come up to meet the RSI. This is why the tightening of the RSIs is so important, because and this is a different way to think about divergence. Usually when I talk about divergence, we're talking about blue waves, but a divergence is any disagreement between price or an oscillator, or any two oscillators can also diverge from each other. And so when you see the gap, that implies a disagreement. And then when they tighten up, you have agreement, which is more confluence. So the gap is a simple indication of a reckoning needs to happen. I'm not sure whether that would be an up or down reckoning, because either one of those RSIs could come either up or down to meet each other, but it means something's going to happen. And when they tighten up, that's usually like the moment that thing happens. But yeah, like I don't just simply long when the Stokes turn green. I just simply read that as I take it for what it is, that the stochastics, the purple line, has come over the Stokes. And that's pretty much like everything I know about the RSIs. Like you can't overcomplicate it. There's overbought, there's oversold. You have your thresholds to delineate each of those. You've got the divergence between the RSI and the Stokes when there's a gap or when they tighten up. And then they change colors based on whether the purple line is on top or below. So I hope that helps. What's up, Carlo? Good to have you in, man. GoldenEye says, can you explain blue triangles? Let's talk about NickCipher A. So on a big time frame, what data are the Stokes based on, James? It's just a regular stochastics that's smoothed and adjusted by CF and the creator of MC. I don't actually know the actual calculation as good as I know like the calculation for my VWAP strategy and stuff. Like MC was kind of made to be a little mysterious to prevent people from copying the strategy, and it's always been a kind of a mysterious tool that allows its educators to stand out and employ their own methods to teaching it. But yeah, I simply don't know the RSI's calculation, this RSI's calculation that well, so I can't answer a question I don't know. But GoldenEye says, can you explain blue triangles personally? Yes. So the blue triangle is a simple, very bare bones, simple indication. It's when the bottom of the EMA ribbon of NickCipher A starts crossing up over the other ribbons. This is an indication that the gray, lifeless, bear market ribbon is potentially reversing. It's the progenitor of the green dot, which would be, the green dot is the ribbon has fully recovered. The only caveat with this is, in a bear market, what you've seen on like lower time frames is like in a bear trend, you'll have those points where the bulls come up and they're trying to take off out of the sky. Like the bulls do have little rallies, and like they siege resistance in a bear market just like they do in bull markets, but they fail. So it's like sometimes on the smaller time frames, those points where the ribbon comes up and is like, I'm alive again, like the bear, that's precisely the moment where the bears are like, no you ain't, you know, like they push them down underwater. And so you can see blue triangles or green dots acting as like almost like local tops in a downtrend, which is, you know, it can be tough. Like I seen the same shit that you guys see. But on this big time frame, I'm able to represent like the reasoning behind why these indicators exist. It's to show you that the ribbon is coming up. You know what I'm saying? It's just to show you that we're recovering from a bear market and potentially reversing and potentially building some market structure in the other direction. You'd want to wait for some follow through and see if the structure and the ribbon can hold. But it ends up playing out really great in hindsight on these big time frames. It's like, dang, you know, obviously if you just simply longed off that candle close, there was plenty of drawdown over the course of weeks. So while you're stuck in the swamp of trading and like looking at this shit every day all gacked out, you know, all googly eyed, like the meaning of this green dot, you lose the meaning of the green dot in the chop and in the mess of the price action. But it is a larger indication of the ribbon increasing, and it was actually a leading indication of future bull market action. So this is an example of like a leading indicator having downsides. By being the first person to say, hey, there's hope. You know, you could be the first person to get your head chopped off because screw this guy, you know, he's wrong. Everyone could turn on him and lynch him in the street. It's like town of Salem, you know. But that guy was a visionary. He's saying like, yo, like something's going on. You know, he was like trying to ring the bell. And people were like, no, the bear market's not over, dude. You know, there's still a little bit of delusion as to like whether the uptrend has really begun or not when it comes to the price action. But I would say that is a weakness of a leading indicator, just like how there's strengths to leading indicators. So blue triangle, the triangle, the delta means change, right? Triangle, like it just means it's a symbol of change. That's why we chose that symbol, because it just means that the bear structure might be changing. Ethoros says, many years with CF, but never knew you had it. Well done, mate. Keep it up. Thank you, bro. Appreciate the support. Raz says, that's what I mean by confirmation bias being brutal, because we're in an overall uptrend is something that is obvious because you are seeing all the higher price action that happened afterwards. Well, that is true, but like scare money don't make no money. Like you have to put your money, if there's leading indications that a macro uptrend is manifesting, you have to maintain a bullish bias. We're on top of the EMA ribbon. We are on top of my anchored VWAPs here that are ascending. By employing a bullish bias, like see how we were contending with anchors down here and then we started pumping up. There's so many ways we've taught you guys to employ trend bias. You guys should know how to spot a trending market or a sideways market. You have to put money on the table and you have to risk a trade and see if it plays out. You have to not be afraid to fail and let the market kick you out. If you're fearful, if you're scared that you don't know what the trend is, maybe you're either risking too much or you need to watch the tutorials again. But I really appreciate the question, and like it is a good question. Like discerning what environment you're in is tough, but I think that if you see that as the prerequisite of like step one of thinking about entering a trade, maybe that'll do better for you. You know, like don't even like enter a trade unless you you have a strong idea of like up or down or sideways. And it is brutal, man. The markets are brutal. They put you on your ass so many times. You don't even need a high win rate to succeed in trading. It's a sport that's designed around getting punched in the face. It's just like fighting. You know, I gotten punched in the face by the market so many times. Even with MC, but it's better with than without. Gankman says curving up. Thank you, Nick. You're welcome, bro. Happy to explain. Stokes are for people who don't have MC. I like the Stokes, but the Stokes are a part of MC. Gazgano says, nice. Can you keep up with the yellow X, red X, and yellow diamonds? Yeah, man, let's talk about them. Looks like on the weekly, we didn't even... So the blood diamond is, at a certain point with NickCipher, there was no blood diamond. There was red X's and red diamonds, which were simple, like, bearish candle continuations. Like if there was a red candle, typically you'll get a red X or like a red diamond, you know? But we noticed that when they both propagate on top of each other, that tends to like, that's confluence, right? So we made the blood diamond, which is like the combination of those two. And so sometimes in markets, like this is beautiful. I love that blood diamond from April 2022. That coincided with us falling below the EMA ribbon. So the blood diamond is just, you know, it's never a guarantee, but it adds a percent chance to your win rate for a short there. If you ever get that confluence of multiple bearish indicators from NickCipher A. As for the yellow X, I wish I could explain the calculation more, because CF and his dude are so secretive with it that like they don't even want to tell me. They don't even want to tell my ass, like, but they just say like it's some whale shit, it's a bearish sign, it's just like CF says it's a bearish signal. And I tend to agree. When I see this yellow X, like shit usually gets worse. Let me see if I can go on another time frame. Where are those yellow X's at? All right, so I see one at the bottom of the market here on the day. That's a little weird. All right. And I do see these yellow X's play out all the time, so I guess on the daily they don't play out that well on Bitcoin. It must be on like the smaller time frames that I see them. Yeah, what's been going on with these, man? This is what I'm talking about. So like usually like with the yellow X's, like you would see them in threes, like they come like 1, 2, 3, and you see the market continuing down like that. Maybe it's like the overall bullish structure of Bitcoin that causes the yellow X's on large time frames to be like not accurate. But when you zoom into the smaller time frames and downtrends have more room to manifest, you do see like the bam, 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 like the yellow X's start coming as shit gets hairy. The balls get hairier as the trades get scarier. But yeah, thanks for letting me cover the yellow X. It was interesting to see them not playing out on the big time frames in such an uptrending market like Bitcoin. Whereas if you go into the small time frames, you see the damage they can do here. What else was that? Did I miss anything in your question? There's also like little yellow diamonds, which I disabled, but anytime there's like a green Heikin-Ashi candle, like you'll also get a little golden diamond on NickCipher A. It's just like a bullish continuation candle. Yeah, I explained the yellow X, the red X, and the yellow diamonds. Can I explain the DBSI? So I'm not a very avid user of DBSI, but I do know enough about it. It's just a simple, it's not a simple moving average, it's an EMA. And when the price is over, like, it gives you a good trend bias. Like, basically when the DBSI is green, you could then start employing the bear or the bullish side of NickCipher B's indications, like waves below the zero line, green dots, red money flow scooping up, RSI is coming up over 10. All those things are going to be supercharged when price is over this DBSI line here. That's the point of this line turning green and red, is to give you extra confidence in your momentum trading. You want to see the price strong trending on this stuff before you employ a momentum trade to it. As for the numbers, they don't go back far enough because CF wants the day. They don't want people back testing it and figuring out the DBSI, because it started off as a secret tool that they were using for like a bot or something, but CF just wanted it for himself to manual trade with. So you guys have to just simply respect that. Like, this is like my brother's and his dude's proprietary tool, and like they don't want people back testing the crap out of it by having all the previous numbers, but it numbers every candle in terms of strength, bullish and bearish on the top. And you'll see the numbers starting to turn around from negative to positive, and if you can get confluence on it flipping along with some other stuff like NickCipher B, like a NickCipher B basic strategy setup with some DBSI flipping around, and ideally that you're actually over you're over the DBSI line in a green DBSI when you catch that long opportunity. To be below, to be in red DBSI, you risk longing in what could be a downtrend, right? So just a word of caution there. Like, I like to stack them up. I like to see the numbers curving up, but also I want to see us over the green DBSI line. And I want to see like the bullish indicators from NickCipher be a green. And that's pretty much like all DBSI is. It goes up to like a super high number. I think it's like 27 or something. I can't remember. I don't use DBSI too much anymore. It does a lot of what the waves do, but I heard people say like the numbers it catches things a little faster maybe. Like, this definitely did catch a turn in the candle momentum here before NickCipher B has given us anything. Look, Clay says, look around 2022 when we had the dump on for what? Yeah, I mean, these macro DBSIs don't lie, right? If you employ a short bias, if you're looking for short opportunities above the zero line, and you're just let the longs play out, let the pencil necks stress out every day about every little bit of bullish news that happens in a bear market. You know what I'm saying? Let them stress out. You're not on the producer side of the trading industry. You're on the consumer side. You're watching this, you know, like, I would say lower your stress and like trade with the grain. Don't be so concerned with following the pencil necks. If you have a strong trend bias, you know, the best trade opportunities are not to long the bull divs down here, but actually to short the bear divs when we hit resistance. When we slip back down below the DBSI line, and then you see, like, you look back here and it's like, damn, this thing was really overbought. And what's so funny is that the market's going down so much that any red dot will do. Like, this red dot down here, like below the zero line, was a banger. You know, you would typically want like a trigger wave over the zero line for a short. But But sometimes in markets, for a long period of time, we're just running away from like a strong bias giving line like the DBSI or an anchored VWAP or NickCipher A's ribbon. And it behooves you to stick with the trend until the trend ends. In fact, CF's best trades were always like continuation trades, like his backed dump, the biggest trades of his life when he made $2 million in a single day. We looked like shit, and then it got worse. You know what I'm saying? Rome says, in bull trends, 1 minute yellow X's can be great long entries. I definitely don't doubt that the yellow X's have a certain, like, there's not a guarantee, man. You can't take any of the indicators on MC as like a bet the farm kind of thing. Like BitBoy with his green dot strategy. It's like if you bet the farm on every green dot, that works when we're going up like this. You know, like that works for a time, but that strategy, it goes extinct. Like you're gonna go extinct like the dinosaurs if your strategy is that simple. Clay says, I've had trades hit hard from entering when it hits that DBSI line. Yeah, man, it's, you know, hopefully me teaching my community, the NickCipher community, the VWAP strategy and employing strong trend bias and like the lessons I have to teach about only looking at one half of NickCipher B's indications at a time. This goes against like what a lot of YouTubers are talking about every day. All these YouTubers, like, they have to put out a video, so they're like, they don't even like say it confidently. They're like, I've entered a short. Oh, it's like you're fucking quivering and shitting your pants because like, look at this trend. Like, shorting this is fucking terrifying. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care like what I sound like compared to other people on YouTube. Like, there's cards that are stacked. Like, there's undertones to your trading and what the price action's going through. And those undertones matter. Everything from the fundamental basis that like the US dollar is just completely its value is being sucked dry. You know? Like, and so the dollar goes down. That's a bullish underpinning for crypto. But even in the charts, you've got like big waves like pushing us up, like, you know, like it's hard to fight that, you know? I don't want to fight. I'm done fighting like that. I want a relaxing approach to trading. Being on the producer side of the trading world, like now that I have an indicator that I have to talk about and sell and all this shit, I have to be removed from the trenches most of the time. And so like by employing a more relaxing trend-focused momentum strategy, like that's how my trading career is going to pop off this year. When I get my fucking ID and I can trade on the exchange that I want, how I want, not because some pencil necks want me to trade, but because like I'm ready to trade how I want, you know, then I know I'm going to murder because I just employ like a relaxing trend bias and I don't overthink shit. Decrypto says, awesome stream, FG, glad I'm here today. Man, I'm glad that you guys are all in here. I don't even care how many of you there are, because my 1K subs, I know that this is a high value 1K people. And by starting my journey on YouTube over from scratch, instead of like hijacking the official MC YouTube and restarting the MC YouTube, I was like thinking how that's my brother's shit, you know, like that channel. Well, it's not for my brother's stuff, it's for NickCipher. I want to pump out like more content just for MC, and I needed a channel that I could like be myself on, if that makes sense. But I get that like if I'm gonna do that, I have to start from zero and earn my way up like everybody else. Just because I'm CF's brother doesn't mean like I'm guaranteed anything. In fact, I never even asked CF to add me to his stream or anything like that. Like, you know, he invited me to go on the other day and I was grateful, you know. Abraham says, what is that Palau idea about? I can't really go too much into it, man. Just do your own DYOR. I'm not going to go into it anymore. I did already to the people that I care about who, you know, I talked about it, but I consulted my bro, and he said it just, you know, you guys got to do your own research on exchange regulations and what in your approach to the markets and all that stuff. But yeah, DYOR, bro. Also, Palau is a small island nation. If I'm like preaching all this stuff about it, like the little endangered jellyfishes are gonna go extinct because you neckbeards are gonna go and soil the crystal clear waters with your walking treadmill sweat and your hairy stomachs. David Brumbulo says, definitely glad to catch this live. NickCipher consistency. NickCipher rocks. Thank you, man. Much love. And yes, this is like a new era of consistency for MC. Like, I hope to represent like a level of consistency and discipline that should serve as the baseline for all you guys. Because I'm just a flopping groper. I'm a kid who like, you know, like I dealt with some shit in my life that I shouldn't have dealt with. I should have been smarter. And yet here I am catching up like Heinz and building discipline for myself and stepping up to take this role as someone who can speak for MC and defend MC and you guys. I'm defending you guys and I'm explaining things for you guys. So if I can come from zero and become this in a year, then you guys better be doing the same. You have to be equal to me or better. You have to be smarter than I am. There's no like, oh, FG's the GOAT and FG's the God. I'm not a god. I'm just some nerd. But the moment you recognize there's a problem, that marks the bottom of the market for your life. Like, that's the start of your uptrend. You know what I'm saying? The JD Club says, sure, it looks like it wants to go down to 43. Yeah, man. I certainly agree that if we fail to overcome this VWAP right here, you see this the volume weighted pressure created from this 53K top. That's holding us down currently. This is why you're thinking like that. Because right now we are in contention. We are not. We're not aiming upward. We haven't overcome. There's basically like a challenge, you know, it's like you're playing Super Smash Bros. And a challenger has arrived for the Bulls. You'd have to wait for this bear sentiment to roll through like a storm before you got bullish again. So one weakness I have, guys, is I want to do more altcoin analysis for you guys. And I'm gonna write on a sticky note all your guys' alts. Like, what are some alts that you guys really believe in, that you guys think I should add to my charts? And I'll do some research on them, and like we'll talk about like your guys' favorite alts more. And I'll try to be less of like a Bitcoin guy and talk more about these alts, because it's important. It's important that I have a more open conversation about all of crypto. All right, we'll add Cardano, Monero, Osmo. What are some of your guys' favorite alts? And I'll do what I can. Like, I could do a price analysis on all of these right now, but I would like to like polish up on my fundamentals and do some research, and like just promise you guys that like in future streams we're gonna be talking more about altcoins. And obviously, like, I have enough. I can talk nonstop. Like, I could diverge from Bitcoin and go into like the Titanic or like trading psychology, trading spirituality, NickCipher drama. There's so much shit I could just fill your ear with all day. But alts, don't just give me like shitter alts. Give me like good projects that you're actually like looking at that look promising. Caspa, I've heard good things about that. Dent. What is what's Render? You know, I heard Render a lot lately. I heard it's been doing good. Some of my traders are trading it. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I'm not an altcoin guy. Like, I'm a Bitcoin guy. Not that I don't believe altcoins are like where the majority of the opportunity is in crypto. It's just like I believe that Bitcoin is like God's currency, and in a market or in a world that we're entering where there's so much fake, so many fake coins, so many coins in general. And this is a part of society. Like, think about our mating options. We have infinite mating options. We have infinite options of what career you want to go into. Like, just by going on YouTube, you could learn how to do anything. We're entering a time in history where it's infinity. You know what I'm saying? And what happens in infinity? That's what intersectionality is. It's chopping up all of society into infinite bits, and basically putting everything into a cage of little 1-point bits and splitting all of our power up. But what is the end result of infinity? It's the one. And what is the one in Bitcoin? What's the safe bet? What is the Neo of the Matrix of the crypto world? It's fucking Bitcoin. That's why I think Bitcoin is like God's currency. Not that I like, you know, that sounds you know, a little goofy or whatever, take it as you will, but it really does represent the one. Out of many, we are one. Obama said that. He said, like, what was it? E pluribus unum. You know, and sometimes things people say like reverberate throughout time. That's one of those phrases that might go down as like a colloquialism. It kind of already has, because you've heard other politicians say that very line. The Mama Swami guy says he says that too. There's this people in charge who are in tune with how the everyday man thinks. Obama, Mama Swami, all these people, like, they intuitively know that we're craving the one. We wish we could get married and have kids and have a happy family, but we can't. Like, a lot of us can't, because it's hard to find that. Because society like appreciates infinite options now. But we do come to a point in history where we crave the one again. There will be a spiritual reawakening. There is a pendulum swing back to simplicity. Out of infinity, you crave the one. That's a simple truth. I'm adding all these altcoins. You guys are awesome. Thanks for giving me all these. Thank you. You guys have given me something to pour into and do some homework on. And I think that's important, that like we don't talk about things we don't fucking know, you know? Whenever you want to step into anything, like, don't piss people off by like just talking bullcrap you don't know. In fact, that's why I kind of stepped away from making educational content for a long time, because I'm a smart guy, but I only like talking about things that I know. And like, when my contributions to NickCipher's how to read NickCipher were exhausted, and at a certain point I lost a kind of a baseline with myself, like with my health and my confidence as well. And like, you can certainly like you can build yourself up to something in life, and then you could certainly like lose it, and it feels hard to get back there. You're almost like you have this anchor overhead and the price has fallen down and the anchor is just sitting overhead, and it feels like impossible to like get back to that old baseline. But the FG that you guys are seeing now is like the FG's price came up, and I'm like over that now. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm on the other side of that valley of ignorance when it comes to the world of trading. I feel a lot better about having conversations with skilled traders now, looking like I am someone who should represent NickCipher, and like being able to defend my tool and my brother, and like to take on the pencil necks, you know? It's a lot of pressure, but also for a strong man, it's nothing. This feels like nothing to me now, because like I've built my baseline up. A lot of that was like, you know, forgetting that anchor overhead, and like at a certain point in my growth phase, I just put a new anchor at the bottom, and I had a stable. I was aiming up, but it was like steady expectations built over a long period of time. And at no point did I like see myself overcoming the old resistance. Like I really did delete that anchor, and like I've just been in an uptrend ever since. And I think I have long since overpassed where I was before. You know, it's like I forgot about that overhead resistance after a while, and that was what helped me to like come full circle in my trading journey. So hopefully that resonates with some of you guys. I'm sure that like I'm not alone with my trading journey in that regard. Yeah. Awesome. I'm not really sure how long we've gone, but I think that's it for today. I wish I had more on these smaller time frames. It looks like we came below the anchoring sentiment here, and this looks a little gnarly. It's not looking so hot until we come over like 51.6 to 51.700. We gotta get over that. And also a descending VWAP is inherently bearish, whereas an ascending VWAP is inherently bullish. So these VWAPs, they are definitely flattening out, which is what we want to see for the bulls to like slowly work their way towards overcoming this bearish sentiment. But it's not until these VWAPs are actually like uptrending. You see that? Like an uptrending VWAP? That's when the long bias starts to like re-manifest. And so whenever you're dealing with a VWAP line or an anchored VWAP line, make sure you're minding like what is the slope of the line? Is it uptrend? Is it a trending VWAP, or is it downtrending, or is it just a flat? When it's sideways, that is an indication of a sideways market, right? You could then almost begin range trading around that sideways VWAP. But yeah, if it's like an uptrending, then obviously the price is more likely to keep bouncing on top of it. Yeah. So I've been live now for 95 minutes. And I don't want to take up people's lives if they want to re-watch the stream. So we're going to call it here today. But like I love you guys. This has been fun. The last 2 days I've streamed. I talked nonstop. I answered some good questions. And we had a good time. So anytime that you guys are feeling like you need some clarity with MC, like I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm working my way up to the live trading thing. But I've been here since the beginning. I'm the boatman on the Titanic. I'm that man of duty who's always been here. So I'm someone that you can depend on for MC knowledge. So that's my role for you guys. So thank you guys. God bless. And make sure you get your cardio in and stay hard. GG.